Hello, it's Zach with a podcast named Tim here with another Power Ranger Beast Morphers review. Today it's going to be a review of episode 4 from season 1 entitled Digital Deception. And the monster of the week that we're going to be rating is Shoveltron. As always, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment below, all that good stuff, all the things you know to do on all the YouTube channels. If you've never watched us, basically the way this works is run through the episode and then give our one-of-a-kind monster rating. And with that rating, it's 25 points is the most you can get. 5 points for 5 different categories. It's look, the design of the monster, the plan of action as far as how they're going to defeat the Rangers, the powers that the monster has, the success of executing that plan and defeating the Rangers, and also the voice of the monster. Because if you've ever watched Power Rangers, you know sometimes some of those monsters get a little crazy with some weird voices. But this is a digital deception, and we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. Ben and Betty, who are getting our comic relief for Grid Battle Force, are collecting a bunch of the Rangers notes, Valentine's Day cards, flowers, etc. that they've been getting, and they see a bee. They're going to go chase that. So that's going to be the comedic bookend for this episode. But the more important part is Ravi. He's the main focus of this episode. Of course, he is missing Roxy, who has been turned into an evil Avtar. And for Valentine's Day, obviously, a lot of motions of love. He's visiting her in this stasis chamber, puts a rose on her stasis chamber, says he misses her. He has some flashbacks to some memories of when they first met in a park at a fountain. And we go to the digital or the cyber dimension and learn that the avatars are able to have all of their memories. So I would assume at some point this will come into play later in the season when, inevitably, as Power Rangers always do, we're going to, return Blaze and Roxy back to the good guys. I'm sure it'll be the memories of their loved ones that'll do that. But so that's an important thing to note. Basically, the plan for the week is Roxy is going to manipulate Ravi into thinking that she is good again, and then they're going to use this to infect him with the Evox virus and convert him into a bad guy so that he can help them steal the Morphex. So they're going to get a Ranger on their side. That's a good plan, very good plan. Always good to use the Ranger's emotions against them, and obviously trying to eliminate one Ranger, an excellent plan. So Nate is out getting some flowers. Of course, Valentine's Day, got to do your shopping. Should do it before Valentine's Day, but but Nate is out doing all of his shopping, getting some flowers, where Roxy and her now excavator that she injects with the virus that is now Shoveltron. They attack. Nate almost gets shot, and they're just wreaking havoc as always. And then the Rangers show up and largely unmorphed defeat the Etronics. So they're doing a good job of propping up our Rangers as far as making sure that even outside of their morphed form that they are able to combat a lot of these villains. Basically, Ravi is separated from the group. Shoveltron is coming up on him, and Roxy comes in and saves the day. She tells Shoveltron to stop attacking him, gives Ravi the sad puppy dog eyes so that he knows that she is still in love with him. Of course, she is pretending in order to play with his emotions, but she is doing that. And then after that, they would go back to Grid Battle Force. The Commander Shaw says that Nate's not allowed to go out anymore because he's so crucial to Grid Battle Force, so he has to have a buddy with him. And we find out that Rangers are not allowed to date. Ravi is actually the one that broke it off with Roxy, but because of 42-C, that is the code for in the rule books of no Rangers dating. I guess they've learned through some of the other ones that they've done throughout the years. But the Roxy and Ravi end up meeting where they first met at that park at the fountain. She tells him that she's able to every now and then override the effects of the virus, and that if he brings her a neuro liner, that she'll be able to basically fully bring herself back to good. Ravi confirms with Nate that do you think this is actually real? He says, yes, the Rangers and Nate don't believe Roxy. They think she is pure evil, and she's just the bad guy. But Ravi, of course, is blinded by love. He ends up stealing the neuroliner. So he is breaking a rule in order to for the woman he loves. So he steals that. The Rangers, of course, find out. But while they are, getting to him, Shoveltron and sneaks up behind Ravi, holds him in place while the neuroliner is being used to try and convert him. Of course, the Rangers show up just in time to save the day. But that is not a complete loss for the bad guys. Scrozzle sees the neuroliner and says that it can be used for another plan that he has, which is going to end up being the Cybergate that's coming up in a few episodes. And so Roxy gets out of there, takes the neuroliner, so it is a small victory for the bad guys. And after that is done, the Gigadrone shows up again. These are the kind of blank slates that they use to latch on the monster of the week. So they don't grow anymore as far as like they did like in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or some of the other seasons. You basically take this giant robot and add to it. It's like an evolution in some respects, but it's kind of weird because you have your normal monster that's still fighting at the same time while the Gigadrone is fighting. So that means the Rangers have to split up, of course, and split their forces. But so the Gigadrone is there, and Devin rides Cruz off to get the Racer Zord. They end up he uses a couple different blasts, like a rapid blast from the Racer Zord, and you see a bunch of different modes. There's the car mode, the cheetah mode, and the battle mode. And the battle mode actually flies around the city, which I did not notice in one of my first viewings, that it actually is able to take flight. But he himself is the one who defeats the Gigatron or Gigadrone. There's a great shot actually where he defeats the Gigadrone he has the Cheetah Blaster, or I think is what it's called, and he fires that, and that's what kind of powers on his sword. He strikes at the same time. The other two Rangers use their guns and weapons, cannons, to fire on the smaller version of Shoveldrone. So they're both defeated at the same time. That's a great screenshot that they have for that. It's the Cheetah Beast Blaster, excuse me. But basically the big thing here is the bad guys are, of course, defeated. Again, but they do have a small victory in getting that neuroliner. When we go back to Grid Battle Force, we do find out that Zoe has a secret admirer, and it is Nate. He is the one who sent her some secret flowers, and I'm sure that will come into play at some point later in the season. But that should be just put a little pin in that for later on, I'm sure. And I guess they did say, everyone says they think that the evil avatars have to be defeated to bring back Roxy, you have to actually defeat the evil avatar. But I'm sure that the memories that they are storing will come into play at some point. And that's pretty much the episode. We do end with Ben and Betty, of course, getting stuck to some giant fly paper for our comic relief for the day. But got to have that as Power Rangers. But let's go ahead and get into our monster rating. Again, it's a 5-point system. Look, powers, plan, success, and voice. And for Shoveltron, I have a 13 overall out of 25. I gave him a 3 for look. I think it's an average, good design for a Ranger. Would have liked a little bit more, but it is the best one I think we've seen yet. Powers 2. It's hard for me to rate these versions of monsters because typically in Power Rangers you have your monster and then he grows big, but now we kind of have the normal monster and the Gigadrone monster, and they're fighting at the same time. It also kind of hurts with the success rate as far as figuring that out. So I got to figure out for my own personal ratings kind of how to handle that. But he has missiles, and he just kind of has this big, Shoveldrone claw. But other than that, I would say missiles are a typical weapon that someone would have. So I think a 2 is appropriate. And for the plan, I put 4. That was a great plan as far as 1, trying to eliminate a Ranger using, your evil ex-girlfriend to kind of manipulate him. Great plan there. And for success, I did only put a 1. And part of that was is that while they did get the neuroliner, and they did good as far as the executing the plan. I thought the lieutenant. Here's my thing. Here's my concern with Beast Morphers, or not my concern. What I'm struggling with the monsters. The lieutenants underneath Evox, the two Rangers, Blaze, Roxy, and Scrozzle, they're all doing, I think, very well. But I think they're doing so well that it's hindering the success in my mind as far as like how powerful to rate a monster, because they're all the lieutenants are always there. They're more integral to the plot than the monster of the week. And I think in Ranger seasons past, it's been the opposite. The monster of the week was the integral part to the storytelling, but it's not now. It's Blaze and Roxy, which I like for a storytelling perspective because we get this constant villain that we're dealing with, but it means that the monsters are much more supplemental, and so rating their success rate is a little different. But I only gave him a 1. He did hold Ravi in place, but he felt like a fill-in monster to me, like anyone could have done. It wasn't a specific monster design for this specific task. Like Needletron we had last week, I think it was. He had needles, so he could suck out the Morphex. There's going to be a couple episodes. I've watched a couple episodes ahead, and there are going to be other monsters that are more specifically designed for the plan. So 1 for success, and voice I gave it 3. Again, indistinct. None of the voices that we've had so far have been those really bad Power Ranger voices that you get. The only other big thing I note from this episode, and it's kind of been in some of the other ones, there's clearly a divide between Scrozzle and Blaze and Roxy as far as them fighting for the love and affection of Evox, and clearly wanting to take credit for who's the one going to be the one helping out the most. But that's pretty much it for this episode. Please, again, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. How would you rate Shoveltron? And we'll see you next time here on Power Rangers, on the podcast named Tim, and specifically our Beast Morphers. Check out this channel. We've got Star Wars stuff coming, if not already up. We've got hopefully some game stuff coming. We've got Mighty Morphin reviews, Beast Morphers, and just plenty more fun stuff. And also the show, which is movie reviews. So we'll see you next time here. And please do check us out. Tell a friend.